Well, that's right. And let's just be completely honest of what Byron Donalds is. Byron Donalds is a tether.
No, I feel like that lady gonna get out. No. I know he did. Florida. This what we doing? Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Racist of the Week, where we explore the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And of course, if you have any nominees, you can drop them in the comments. You can email me at admin@reesewaters.com. Now, unfortunately, due to some stipulations that apparently I had overlooked, Byron Donalds did not finish in the Biscuit Bottom 5 for this year's Uncle Ruckus Award, which technically makes him eligible to submit ideas for Racist of the Week. All right, Byron, what happened?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have found Byron Donalds in his natural habitat outside of a Walmart in Tallahassee. He is there. He was with one chicken earlier. He's now moved on to another chicken, as is always his case with these things.
But were you at Walmart, though? Were you at Walmart? I need to see some proof alongside them stock trades.
And he does not appear to have stolen from the store yet, but the third time would be a charm.
Did he say? He said the third time. He said the third. He did his research. Hey, give him props for Oppo.
Stock market's closed, so he has not made a stock trade. But we were, ran into Byron Donalds. That's kind of cool. In Tallahassee, where he went to school. And cool to be here.
Well, look on the bright side, Byron. That chicken might pay your ex-wife back finally. You know what I mean? He would have one up on you. That would be. Now, who exactly was that dragging you for filth? James Fishback enters governor's race, hurls insults at leading Republican Byron Donalds, a 30-year-old political newcomer who acknowledges he skipped voting in past Republican primaries, entered the GOP primary for governor by comparing the President Donald Trump endorsed candidate Byron Donalds, who is black, to a slave. Well, Ron DeSantis said it was a training program, though. So he might have meant, you know what I mean? You looking to better yourself and picking up additional skills. That's what Ron DeSantis be teaching.
Started this fire with the bill that he signed.
The new standards say Florida students should be taught about the harsh conditions slaves endured, but also about how slaves developed skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit.
They're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith into doing things later in life.
Come on now, dawg.
Up until that point that he gives his money back, I'm going to keep calling him what he is.
Gubernatorial candidate James Fishback doubling down on referring to Congressman Byron Donalds as a, quote, slave to his donors. Both men trying to be your next governor. Tonight, only chief political correspondent Dave Elias introduces you to the candidate who wants to be your next governor.
My message as running for governor is very simply to keep Governor DeSantis' wins in place and then to build on affordability.
30-year-old Republican investor James Fishback praising Governor DeSantis while focusing on affordability.
It has gotten way too expensive to insure your home, to buy your home, to pay property taxes. Everything under the sun here in Florida has gotten too expensive.
Those things, though, have happened under the governor's watch. Your reaction to that?
They've happened under a lot of people's watch.
Now, we got a couple of things going on right now, not the least of which is the complete lack of accountability. Let me pick up Ron DeSantis while denying his accountability for what happened under his watch. And that is perfect. That's how you know he's running under the GOP. That's how he running red. If you're not going to take accountability, you know he running red. Now, speaking of DeSantis, we have seen followers of DeSantis amplify racist attacks against Byron Donalds in the past. No, this is not their first rodeo. And despite denials, top Ron DeSantis aides have ties to the controversial GOP candidate for Florida governor. While the governor hasn't endorsed in the race, at least 2 top aides have been in touch with James Fishback, whose campaign has faced criticism over his social media posts. And speaking of social media posts, we have seen the amplification of the racial attacks against Byron Donalds, by and large, go unaddressed by Byron Donalds. See, he's in a trick bag whereby he cannot acknowledge racism. We call this the Vivek Ramaswamy. He's found himself in the Vivek Ramaswamy, where he has gone so far down the road that he cannot acknowledge the racism, even as it's being amplified against him. I don't know, Byron. I don't know. Hey, you know what? You sounding like a victim right now. That's what you sounding like. You have a victim mentality. That's what that sounded. And another thing too, his excuse. We know what he meant by slave. We know what he meant. But his excuse that you are a slave to your donors. You know, was he wrong though? What was he wrong?
He's out of line, but he's right.
James Fishback, he opened his campaign by saying some things that seemed pretty derogatory about you. One of those seemed racial, if not racist, in saying that you were a slave, and then went on to say slave to corporate donors and that sort of thing.
I'm not going to respond to ignorance. That's my response. My campaign's going very well. We've been in about 50 counties in Florida. We've been very successful in terms of reaching voters. Obviously having the support of President Trump, Senator Rick Scott, most of the congressional delegation. Our polling numbers, we're leading very big in the polls, and our fundraising apparatus is going quite well. And so, you know, the only response I really do have is that, you know, in politics, when you're in the lead, people try to do anything they can to try to take shots at you. But I'm not going to respond to ignorance. If it's something about policies that are impacting the people of Florida, if it's about the future of our state, we'll talk about that. But ignorant stuff, cheap shots, I have no response for it.
Hey, Fishback. He said he not going to acknowledge ignorance. Hey, you're going to have to hit him again.
I know this is a challenging topic for people. However, I want people to be able to see how, unfortunately, when we have immigrants to come into our country, Americans can't do politics. We have to be able to do politics for Americans. And this is something that we have to tackle. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, that's right. And let's just be completely honest of what Byron Donalds is. Byron Donalds is a tether.
No, I feel like that lady will get out. No. I know he did. Florida. This what we doing?
Byron Donalds is a tether. He is not an American descendant.
Wait a minute, James. How do you know the term tether?
He is a tether. He is not an American descendant of slaves. So
you never know who be in the chat. You never, because you know he had to have been in the chat for him to. Wow. I got to be careful on my live streams. It could be James Fishback in there.
So when Byron Donalds cries like he has over the last couple of weeks because I call him a slave to AIPAC, a slave to corporate interest, a slave to the pro-immigration lobby that has hurt every race of Americans, but has also hurt Black Americans who disproportionately work in food, hospitality, leisure, and customer service. He is in no position, has no right to be complaining about me calling him a slave when he has absolutely no direct descendant of slavery in his family. He's from Panama. He's from Belize. His dad's from Jamaica. Irrelevant.
No, Byron. Isn't that what you always argue? You always talking about, you know, your expansive background. You disassociating yourself from rank and file black folk. Isn't that what you like to do? He helped you with that. He helped you separate yourself. You know, hey, look on the bright side. This helps with your newfound identity, you know? Byron Donalds is a Tether. He's not an American descendant of slaves. So when he cries like he has over the last couple of weeks because I call him a slave to AIPAC, a slave to corporate interests, a slave to the pro-immigration lobby that's hurt every race of Americans, but has also hurt Black Americans who disproportionately work in food, hospitality, leisure, and customer service, he's in no position and has no right to be complaining about me calling him a slave when he has absolutely no direct descendant of slavery in his family. Now, Byron, if you want to fight the allegations, you could commit to a reparations plan. You know what I mean? That's all. You want to commit to a reparations plan, then you could see, you don't want to do that. You see, you don't want to do that. See, and that's why James Fishback be all over the FBA shows. You know? That and they've been listening to what you've been saying for the last decade.
Hello and good evening. Listen, don't mind me. It's got the nerve to be down to 43 over here. I'm freezing. Listen, in another episode of As the White Hood Turns, have y'all heard about this Florida gubernatorial race with Byron and this other man, James Fishback? Well, if you haven't, listen, this is so delicious because y'all know there is nothing, I don't need to say it. So, Byron Donalds is
Riverview, you'll see lots of sun and can expect a high of 62 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 42 degrees.
Did I ask her anything?
Don't Alexa be nosy? All that black people business. You know what I mean? I remember when I was growing up, I couldn't even look in grown-ups' face when they was talking. Alexa be all up in the mix. You know what? That might be how James Fishback knew about Tether. I think that's how he you know what I mean? Check his phone.
Anyway, before we were so rudely interrupted with the weather report, listen! Byron Donalds and James Fishback are both Republicans running in the state of Florida for governor. Okay? Now, tell me why James done called Byron a slave. Mind you, he called him a slave to his corporate backers, but still, he called him a slave. But wait, there's more. He said he wasn't even a good American slave because he wasn't born here. Now, I don't know if it's true. I didn't research that, but that tickled the hell out of me, and I just had to come share that with y'all. Woo! I think I have unlocked a new category of MAGA on MAGA violence. I think I need to start doing more stories on MAGA violence. Ebony and Ivory. They MAGA, but they not in harmony. Sing it with me.
Ebony and Ivory. I got you. And I love As the White Hood Turns. I love As the White Hood Turns. You know, Byron, you got to step up your social media game. He's stealing your racists. This guy's entire shtick is running against the Trump-endorsed black frontrunner for Florida governor by hurling racial epithets at him. Dark slave, DEI thug. He called the man a DEI thug? A DEI? They just doing combos. They just put anything together. You woke mammy.
You serious?
Let's see. We got Byron Donalds as a slave who was auctioned off for $31 million. We get Byron Donalds represents a dark vision for America. Now, did he bolden dark like that, or did you do a search for dark? That is, You definitely put it in all caps. I can say you definitely put it in all caps. We got a vote for Byron is a vote to take Florida down a dark path. Byron is Andrew Gillum 2.0. And the future of Florida is dark if Byron Donalds wins. We don't want to live in chains. I heard of them using dark that way as code. I've never seen it as a platform. I've never seen it as a whole Well, but Byron, what you want us to do? No, because we've been telling you about, what was you saying last year when we was talking about this kind of rhetoric? What was you saying? Well, Kamala, if she is, Kamala, if she is black, and they do this. Huh? That was you? Now, what have we heard from you this year since Trump has taken office and declared war on Black America on a litany of fronts? What have we heard from you? But you want us to care about the dark vision for Florida? No, I didn't see DEI Thug. It's been 49 days since Byron Donalds turned down Newsmax debate invite between him and me. Either Byron Donalds debates me next month or he's forever entitled DEI Thug who doesn't want to earn the job. No. I want to see the video. I want to see. I'm gonna watch the video.
This is a stake. The stakes couldn't be higher. That's why Byron Donalds, my opponent, has to debate me in January. We're going to talk about a lot of things. His support for the H-1B scam that has stolen jobs from Florida workers, his support for AI data centers that will destroy our national environment and jack up our electric bills. And I want to share my vision about how we can make life more affordable for you to live in the greatest state in the country. James Fishback, and running for Florida governor because Florida is our home, America is our birthright, and stake is everything.
Now, the steak bit was terrible. I can honestly say the steak bit was atrocious. As far as the allegations of being a DEI thug, would you characterize Donald Trump as being qualified? I know you would. Would America? His approval rating says no. What about Kristi Noem? No. What about Pete Hegseth? No. Linda McMahon? No. We have a man unqualified surrounded by people that are not qualified, and that would include you. So by virtue of that, you would be DEI, like in the same way that this administration is DEI. We talk about it all the time. You also would be DEI. As far as you being a thug, you still got that same campaign manager? The one where they said they were threatening to pull Trump's endorsement over. You still got, I don't know what you want me to say. He kind of hit it with the DEI thug. He kind of did.
He's right,
I'd advise against calling the Trump-endorsed black GOP congressman running for governor of Florida a slave. This will not play well, James Fishback. Byron Donalds is not a slave. He's a highly accomplished congressman, and I've never seen him use identity politics. From Laura Loomer. Wait a minute. She said this will not play well because she don't want no competition. That's all that's hey, James Fish, no, she just don't want no competition. That's all that is. She said, this is my corner. This is like in The Wire where you reclaim your corner. She was sitting looking out the window talking about, are they being racist over there? Are they being It looked like I see some anti-black racists. Oh no, we not gonna do that. No, hey, get my phone. Hey, get my phone. Both of them. No, we going in all my accounts. I'm taking my corners back. Ain't nobody gonna be racism off of my account. And one more thing that we have to acknowledge is the schism that we see on the right wing with MAGA is the America First MAGA and the group that they would characterize as Israel First. And in this situation, we have, what was James Fishback's reasoning for calling him a slave? Because of his corporate donors, namely AIPAC, and that he is a slave to the foreign lobby. That's what James Fishback said. And who got his back? Laura Loomer, somebody who has made abundantly clear how she feels about black people. But in this instance, she decides to speak out against racism to protect Byron Donalds. Hey, Byron, that's what you call not helpful. That is the opposite of helpful. This was as helpful as when she tried to call out Marjorie Taylor Greene for dropping ends, which was something that she knew the entire time and didn't care. This is like that helpful.
So Representative Byron Donalds is running to replace Ron DeSantis as governor of Florida. And it looks like he might have a challenger, a person who seems to be very America first named James Fishback, who you might recognize. I think he's been on a few Jubilee videos. So Laura Loomer, who for whatever reason seems to speak for the White House and Trump sometimes, came out and said that Byron Donalds is Trump endorsed and says that the White House condemns Fishback's run and views it as a drain on GOP resources in a midterm election year where money needs to be spent on defeating Democrats, not Trump endorsed candidates. While defeating Democrats is important, it's also important to have the best candidate possible running for the Republican seat. Just because Byron Donalds is Trump endorsed doesn't mean everyone should just back out of the way and just let him have it.
Now, he asked the question, why should they back away from the Trump-endorsed candidate? I would ask this question, based on how elections have gone since Trump has been in the White House, why would a Trump-endorsed candidate not be a beacon to the sky to enter any and all races? The voters have spoken. Isn't that what y'all tell me? The voters have spoken from coast to coast.
From what I've seen, James Fishback is more America first and more Florida first than Byron Donalds. I honestly think when these two debate one day that Byron Donalds will plummet in the polling. On top of that, last year, Byron Donalds missed more House votes than any other congressman. Like, if you can't even show up to do your job, why should you be the governor of Florida?
Hey, Byron, now he called you lazy and shiftless. He called you lazy. I know. Shiftless is an old one. They going back. They talk about the dark vision. You know what I mean? They really going deep. They digging deep for these. You know what I mean? No, I'm not going to do nothing about it. I'm just telling you.
What do we believe? What do we stand for? Do we stand for Western civilization? Do we stand for Judeo-Christian values? Do we stand for free market capitalism, protecting life, strong borders, legal immigration based around assimilation?
If you're a foreigner coming to America, you do not have a right to the jobs of Americans, to the homes of Americans, to the schools that our kids go to, the schools that we went to. You don't. You are a guest. There are job takers and there are job makers. And right here, right now, we don't have room for a single job taker. A taker who's going to take healthcare, take education, take space up in our country, because we do not have time. We do not have space. We do not have resources for anyone other than our own. And we should not, as Americans, apologize for it.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks! Byron, he said you don't have a right to the jobs and homes of Americans. He said you don't have a right to the jobs and homes of Americans. Now, I'll give you this, Byron. I'll give you this. Okay. Now, one of the things that I have mentioned is when they talk about, like when Stephen Miller says America is for Americans and Americans only. And I say, oh, we know who Americans are. We know who the real Americans are. They talk about heritage Americans. We know who the heritage Americans are. So obviously we've seen that weaponized against the Latino community, the immigrant community. Now we see it weaponized against Black people that are not descendants of slaves. That line keeps moving. And they're very clear in their projections and who they decide to put their arm around as real Americans. Let's not let that go ignored, ever.
We have to reform that program so that we can get foreign nationals who want to be assets to our community to.
You can't make America great again with Indians.
Like the visa systems in our country.
Wait a minute. Where you get that old Byron? You on that Beijing? You back on that Beijing? You relapsed.
Are really broken. A lot need to be reformed.
You can't make America great again with Chinese.
And we will have legal immigration. So anybody from any country, they come to America legally, they will have that opportunity to be a part of the fabric of America.
You have to make America great again with American workers, and it's time we have to be clear. The H-1B program.
Byron, the H-1B thing not helping. That's not helping. No, Vivek went through that too. You thought you were safely entrenched enough as an American, right? You thought they saw you as one of them and that you could sell the H-1B. Now they calling you a job taker. Now they calling you a job taker. You picked me right into that spot. We told you about this the whole time. You picked me right into that spot. The only thing I can say for you is I don't know just how seriously people are going to be taking his candidacy because I haven't seen him on no major platforms or anything like that.
You know what? James Fishback joins me now. Welcome. Thank you for joining. You're entering a pretty crowded field, and there is that endorsement already. Why do you want to get into this race?
I want to get into this race, Laura, because I want to make life more affordable for Floridians all over the state. I'm a fourth-generation Floridian. I grew up in a working-class background down in South Florida. I now live in the Florida Panhandle. I want to do two things for Floridians. I want to keep the ball rolling from Governor DeSantis. I want to keep Florida free from radical DEI, transgenderism, Soros-backed prosecutors. And on top of that, I want to make it affordable for families. I want to make it easier for them to get a great-paying job, buy a home, raise a family, and when it's all said and done, retire with dignity.
You know, you mentioned DEI. You've been repeatedly calling and referring to Byron Donalds as DEI Donalds on social media. You know that Trump made some pretty significant gains when it came to black male voters in Florida and elsewhere. Is that rhetoric going to make you more successful in Florida?
Well, what's going to make me successful in Florida is meeting with voters where Byron Donalds won't meet them. DEI stands for didn't earn it. If he doesn't want to go out and meet with voters like I am, whether they're in Mariana or Miami, Pahokee or Pensacola, then he does not deserve to be the next governor of Florida. Floridians deserve a choice. And I want to go out there and earn the trust of the people of my state, a state that my family has known since my great-grandfather came here and ran a small hotel in Fort Lauderdale Beach.
Well, well, you thought your sister was going to protect you? No, well, she showed you the same respect that you showed. So, you know, you drew that line, and then we all met you right there. We all met you right there on that line. The one thing you can hope for is hopefully some sort of scandal or something like that can hit and that maybe can help you out. Florida school district cut ties in 2022 with Florida GOP candidate James Fishback over misconduct allegations involving a minor. Florida school district cut ties with Republican governor candidate for inappropriate relationship with underage student, NBC News reports. The student claimed Fishback initiated a romantic relationship with her in 2022 when she was 17 and he was 27, according to court documents obtained by NBC and the website Florida Politics. Fishback explicitly directed Ford to keep the relationship a secret, according to those documents. There you go, Byron. There you go. Now, that you might be back in the game. One thing to keep in mind, we got to be very mindful of how MAGA will process this. Because if it's one thing we learned through the whole Epstein saga is that they can bend and shift their moral compass to suit their racism. So, you never know where they might go with this, Byron. It's one single girl, not girls, and she was 17, and per allegations, yet unproven, they got engaged when she turned 18. So she wasn't underage either. The ultimate strategy of the left will always be to attack heterosexuality. I don't know. Hey, check Megyn Kelly's phone. Check Megyn Kelly's phone for that one. Well, but Byron, you can't expect MAGA to swallow Trump's ever-evolving Epstein explanations and not respond like this to this. You know what I mean? This is the bed that you have made in all respects. The dark, the slave, the DeSantis. This is all you. Man, you got me knocking stuff off the table. No, because I get that riled up about pick me. Because I get that. It's one thing about a pick me. They gonna get me riled up. They gonna and you know what? I'm not the only one. You got them putting James Fishback on the NBA shows, calling you a tether. Yes, this is exactly the opposition that you have created in Florida.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal.
Byron Donalds, you might have to go back to New York. You might have to go back to, and I don't remember what you all that you done said about that. You might have to go back to New York. Can you still do that Jamaican accent? Lord have mercy. We'll practice. Thank you guys so much for supporting the video. It's the end of another year we won't be able to explain to our kids. And what did we learn? Never trust a Jet2 holiday. Never take your side piece to Coldplay. Now that's neo soul territory. So much has happened in 2025. Last year this time, I was selling podcasts out the back of my trunk using rent-to-own furniture. Last year, I was sitting the bench watching JV basketball as a senior with a uniform on, hoping I don't have to play. This year, I got 3 kids and a trick knee. 2025. Well, look on the bright side. At least your year was better than Katy Perry's and Sydney Sweeney's. Taylor Swift came into 2025 thinking they were going to win the Super Bowl and definitely going to make a run this year. And she was going to have all that airtime. They lost that one. And now Travis at home for the whole off season on the couch, gaining weight as a fiance.
Damn.
But since it is the end of the year, I want to remind all of our members to check the community tab and vote on our year-end awards. Those are going on right now, and there's a couple of polls that we've run already.
I think it.
But you know what? I feel hopeful going into the new year, and this community is a big part of that. Also, the Let 'em Fight banquet is also another very big part of that. But here we're talking about this community. I'm talking about our head moderator, Miss Ray, Regina on research, and our editors, David, Denzel, and Boz, as well as all the mods that have helped us with the premieres, our research squad, which was just assembled. And by the way, if you would like to join either the research squad or be one of our volunteer mods, you can hit me up at admin@reesewaters.com. And I also have to give a special shout out to somebody who started out as one of our volunteer mods, but has become an integral part of this particular channel and has stepped up when needed. My girl, Deshauna, who also sent me this photo with her discouraged, depleted, but never defeated t-shirt. And you know what, Deshauna? It looks as good as I feel when I see your name in the chat during the premiere. Thank you so much for all of your hard work, and thank all of you for all of your support. I can't wait to see what's next.